Welcome back to Learners Academy. Today we've got a great math problem to work through. A pump has a rating of 300 liters per minute, and the pool has a total capacity of 90,000 liters. The question is, how many hours will it take for the pump to empty the entire pool? Before watching the video, if you understand the problem, give it a try and share your answer in the comment section. It's always good to translate a word problem into something more visual, like in this case. Drawing a pool having 90,000 liters of water, and we want to empty the pool out with this pump that pumps out water at a rate of 300 liters per minute. Alright, now we know that the pump can handle 300 liters every minute. The next step is to figure out how long it will take to pump out the whole 90,000 liter pool. Anytime you're working with a math word problem and there's units involved like feet, inches, kilometers, liters, or hours, you need to be on high alert for units of measure that's going to have a big impact. A lot of times people get confused with word problems like this because we're working with two different units, liters and minutes. When you see the per minute in the quantities like liters per minute or meters per second, then we are dealing with something called rate. Rate refers to how much one quantity changes with respect to another. Generally, it means how fast something happens over time. Rate equals change in something divided by time taken. So if someone asks like, rate of moving train, that means what is the speed of that train, which could be, for example, 150 kilometers per hour. The rate is basically written in a fraction where the numerator and denominator have different units of measure. In our problem, the rate of 300 liters per minute means that the speed of pump is 300 liters per 1 minute, and it is shown in fraction form as such. Here, in numerator, the unit of measure is liters, which is for volume. We're comparing volume with minutes, which is unit of measure for time. So we're comparing two completely different units, two different quantities compared in fraction, a classical example of rate as per the definition, right? Let's look into another related concepts called ratio and proportions. A ratio is a way to compare two or more numbers that show how much of one thing there is compared to another. Remember, ratios compare numbers, while rate compares two different quantities. A proportion is an equation that shows that two ratios in form of fraction are equal. Or, if one rate is equal to another rate, then we compare it and we call it proportion. Of course, these rates are also in form of fractions. To simplify it, if we compare two equal rates or ratios in form of fractions, then we get proportions. Consider we have a ratio 1/3, and we take same ratio like 3/9. Then we get a proportion. Remember, a rate is in itself a fraction, so two equal rates like two equal ratios is proportion. Coming back to our problem, we will compare 300 liters per 1 minute to 90,000 liters by x minutes. On the left side, we have the rate of the pump. On the right hand, total pool capacity divided by amount of time in minutes required by the pump to empty the pool. We are equating these two ratios as the pump will take 1 minute for 300 liters and x minutes for 90,000 liters. Same pump, same speed, same ratios, right? Now from the proportion, we have an equation, and what we're trying to figure out is how many x minutes it will take to pump all 90,000 liters out of the pool. Let's solve for x. To do that, we can use the method of cross multiplying. This is how it works. We multiply the terms diagonally across. We get 300 multiplied by x and 90,000 multiplied by 1. This gives us x equals 90,000 divided by 300. which gives us 300 minutes. Have we got our answer? Not so fast. We need to convert the minutes into hours, since the question asks how many hours it will take to empty the pool. Let's do that conversion now. We know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So to convert 300 minutes into hours, we divide by 60. 300 divided by 60 equals 5 hours. So finally, here we are. We had the pump with rating of 300 liters per minute and the pool size of 90,000 liters. After solving, we found that the pump will take 300 minutes, and when we convert that to hours, we get 5 hours. This means if you were watching the clock, it would take 5 hours to pump out all the water from the pool. I hope this helps you see how to break down word problems like this using proportions, conversions, and simple math. Remember, understanding the units and setting up a proportion are key steps in solving these types of problems. Stay tuned for more math problems solved.